Somewhere in Japan, around 500 years ago, a shogun broke his favorite tea bowl. It wasn't just any bowl. In feudal Japan, a tea bowl wasn't a piece of kitchenware. It was a symbol. Tea ceremonies were sacred rituals, political, spiritual, deeply personal. The bowl a shogun chose to drink from said something about who he was. And his favorite one was now in pieces on the floor. He sent the fragments to China to be repaired. What came back changed everything. The bowl returned held together by ugly metal staples, functional but brutal. An embarrassment. The shogun was insulted. But the story doesn't end there. Because what happened next didn't just fix a bowl. It created a philosophy that 5 centuries later, scientists and psychologists are only just beginning to understand. Japanese craftsmen looked at the stapled bowl and decided there had to be a better way. Not just a better repair, a better idea about what repair even meant. They mixed lacquer with gold, and instead of hiding the cracks, they filled them with it. The bowl didn't just become whole again, it became something that had never existed before. The fracture lines glowed. The damage was now the most beautiful part of the object. The thing that had broken it was now the thing that made it irreplaceable. They called this Kintsugi. Kin, gold. Tsugi, joinery. Golden joinery. The art of repairing broken things with gold. But here's what nobody tells you about Kintsugi. It was never really about bowls. For centuries, Japanese culture held a concept called wabi-sabi, a worldview built on finding beauty in imperfection, impermanence, and incompleteness. Wabi-sabi said that a cracked cup was more interesting than a perfect one, that a withered flower was more moving than one in full bloom, that age, wear, and damage carried their own kind of truth. Kintsugi was wabi-sabi made physical. It was a philosophy you could hold in your hands. And for 500 years, it stayed mostly in Japan. A beautiful idea, a remarkable craft technique, admired by historians and collectors. But then, something happened in the modern world that made people stop and look at this ancient philosophy with completely different eyes. We started breaking at a rate nobody had seen before. Not bowls, people. In the early 2000s, psychologists began noticing something strange. They were studying trauma survivors, people who had been through illness, loss, divorce, financial collapse, violence, and expecting to find damage. They found something else instead. Some people, after catastrophic loss, didn't just recover. They came back different, stronger, strangely, more clear about what mattered, more capable of sitting with uncertainty, more alive in a way than they had been before. Researchers Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun at the University of North Carolina spent years studying this phenomenon. They called it post-traumatic growth. Not just resilience, not just bouncing back to who you were, but a fundamental transformation, a becoming. The people who experienced it described feeling like the fracture had revealed something, like breaking open had shown them a truer version of themselves underneath the surface they'd been maintaining for years. Sound familiar? The gold doesn't fill the crack from the outside, it fills it from within the break itself. The rupture becomes the location of the repair. The weakness becomes the site of the strength. Tedeschi and Calhoun identified 5 specific areas where post-traumatic growth showed up consistently. People reported deeper, more authentic relationships. They found new possibilities opening, careers changed, passions discovered, paths that only appeared because the old road had collapsed. They experienced increased personal strength, not confidence built on success, but something harder and more permanent, built on surviving what they thought they couldn't. They developed a deeper spiritual or philosophical life, and they felt a profound appreciation for life itself. Ordinary moments became extraordinary because they now understood viscerally that nothing was guaranteed. 5 domains of growth, all of them emerging not despite the breaking, but because of it. But here's the part that stops people cold. Post-traumatic growth doesn't happen automatically. It isn't a reward that comes with suffering. Plenty of people go through exactly the same experiences and don't grow. They shrink, they harden, they carry the crack like a wound, not like gold. The difference, researchers found, wasn't the event. It was what happened cognitively afterward. The people who grew did something specific in the aftermath of their breaking. They sat with the discomfort without rushing to resolve it. They let the question stay open. Why did this happen? What does this mean? Who am I now? Instead of snapping it shut with blame, avoidance, or a story that let them off the hook. They did, in other words, exactly what a Kintsugi master does. A Kintsugi craftsman doesn't rush. The process takes weeks, sometimes months. The broken pieces are first carefully collected. Nothing is discarded, nothing is treated as waste. Then they are fitted back together without adhesive first, just to understand the shape of the break, to map the fracture, then slowly the gold lacquer is applied. Layer after careful layer, let to dry. Applied again. The repair is given time. You cannot do Kintsugi in a hurry. The philosophy only works if you respect the process of the break. Now think about the last time you failed at something significant. What did you do in the hours, the days, the weeks afterward? Did you sit with it, map the fracture, understand its shape? Or did you do what most people do? Reach for the mental staples? Distract yourself, minimize it, blame something outside yourself? Rush back to normal as fast as possible so you didn't have to feel the edges of what had broken? Most of us were never taught to do anything with failure except escape it. And that's the trap. Because when you escape the break, you lose the gold. The thing that could have been the most defining, clarifying, strengthening experience of your life becomes just another thing that hurt you in past. The crack gets stapled shut, functional, holding together. But the fracture is hidden, not healed. There's a third layer to Kintsugi that most people don't know about. When a bowl is repaired with gold, it doesn't just become more beautiful, it becomes more valuable. In the world of Japanese ceramics, a Kintsugi repaired piece is worth more than the original intact bowl. Collectors seek them out specifically because of the repair. The history of breaking is baked into the object's value. Think about the people you trust most in your life, the ones you go to when things fall apart. Are they the people with no visible cracks? Or are they the ones who've been through something, who came back changed, who carry a kind of weight and wisdom that only comes from having broken and been rebuilt? We recognize Kintsugi in people even when we don't have a word for it. So what do you do with this? The first thing is the hardest. Stop running from the break, whatever it is, and the failure, the loss, the rejection, the collapse. Stop trying to staple it shut and get back to normal as fast as possible. Normal is gone. Normal was the bowl before it fell. You are the fragments now, and the question isn't how to pretend the fall didn't happen. The question is what you're going to fill the cracks with. The second thing is to map the fracture. Sit with what broke and why. Not to punish yourself, not to find someone to blame, but to understand the shape of it. What did this reveal about what you were building? What assumptions cracked along with it? What did you believe about yourself that this proved was more fragile than you thought? The third thing, and this is the gold, is to ask what this is making possible that wasn't possible before. Because every significant breaking creates a rearrangement. Things that were hidden become visible. Paths that were blocked by what you were holding together are suddenly open. People you would never have needed and who would never have found you appear in the wreckage. The crack lets light in both directions. 500 years ago, a shogun was humiliated by the return of a bowl held together with staples. He wanted the damage hidden. He wanted the object restored to what it was before. What he got instead was something that had never existed. A bowl that told a story. A bowl that carried its history visibly, proudly, beautifully. A bowl that said, I broke, and this is what was made of that breaking. You are not a broken bowl waiting to be restored to what you were. You are a bowl that broke. And now there is gold to be made of it. The only question is whether you're willing to do the work of the repair, slowly, carefully, with attention to the shape of every crack. Because the fractures aren't the end of your story, they're the most interesting part of it. If this hit different, like, share, and subscribe for more mindset stories. New videos dropping every week. I'll see you in the next one.